I've had an idea for a video series that I've been wanting to try for a while. The idea goes a little something like this. I asked ChatGPT to give me a game to play. This idea in and of itself isn't quite exciting or new, but then I thought, what if I asked ChatGPT to give me a challenge to complete while I play the game? Hello, my name is Coderp, and I'd like to put this idea to the test. And I thank you for being along with me on this journey. To begin, the prompt I gave ChatGPT was to give me a random game that came out during or before 2006. The game I got was Half-Life 2. Now, despite Half-Life 2 being one of the most popular games of all time, I've never really played it, but that's absolutely perfect for the sake of this video. Next, I asked ChatGPT to give me a silly challenge to do while playing the game. The response I got was to complete as much of the game as possible without jumping. The brilliantly ironic name that ChatGPT has given me for this challenge is Gordon the Parkour Master. Alright, before we begin, let's set up some ground rules for the no jump run of Half-Life 2. I was going to make a shitty joke here, but this one writes itself. Rule number 1. Throughout the course of my run, I'll actively avoid using outside resources such as Google or YouTube. But if I get completely stumped on an obstacle, I'll probably end up using an outside resource. If this happens, I will let you guys know. Rule number 2. In order to avoid accidentally jumping, I'll be unbinding my jump key. This one's a pretty straightforward rule. And lastly, rule number 3. Any progression I make cannot be the result of a mod. However, I can use bugs, exploits, or clever use of game mechanics. Alright, those are the rules for the challenge, so without further ado, let's unbind that jump key and get this run started. When I first gained control of my character and started moving around, a sort of realization hit me that I had to be very careful about where I move my character. I could easily put myself in a position that would be hard or impossible to get out of due to my feet being glued to the ground. I'll try to keep this in mind as I play. Within about the first 10 minutes of playing the game, I decided to mess around with the physics to see what I could figure out. Well, it turns out that if I run my character model into objects and spam the crouch key, I can glitch myself on top of objects without jumping. Something tells me that this is going to be very handy. Thank you, Source Engine. I enter a room with a ladder and a bunch of luggage. Turns out I didn't need to wait very long to get to my first obstacle, this window. I've been tasked with stacking some objects to get through it. So after stacking up some crates, I realized this wasn't going to work. There were some objects on the ground floor I thought to grab to help me, but as I turned to go down, I realized I had a problem. I couldn't get back down the ladder without jumping, so I had to restart the entire game. Look, it's not my fault, it's whoever designed the ladder's fault for not taking into account my incredibly niche playthrough. Now Half-Life 2 has an autosave feature, but I don't think I was far enough into the game for it to trigger. I'll just have to manually save every so often. Oh well, at least I learned this lesson early on. Save scumming will probably be a common theme in this challenge, although I will try to avoid it as much as possible. I play the game back to the ladder obstacle and I make sure to save this time. Before fully committing to going up the ladder, I start throwing objects up there that I think will help me climb through the window. Some briefcases, a chair, as well as the crates that are already up there. I fumbled around with the orientation of the objects a little bit, stacking them as best as I could, and utilizing the crouch spam technique. If I glitch myself into just the right spot, I can get through the window and make a soft landing on the box below. Success! The first obstacle and hopefully not a long list of many. After doing this one, I got pretty excited about the rest of this playthrough. After a bit of walking, and pissing off a guard, after I manage to get away, I get to the next obstacle, a dumpster with a ladder above it. Luckily, there's a crate and a piece of wood that some homeless dude left lying around. I can use these to crouch spam my way on top of the dumpster. Nice. I make my way to this crack house where this guy ushers me in. He tells me to make my way to the roof, then the place gets raided by the police. I gotta say, I was not excited at the prospect of making my way to a roof, where there will probably be jumping. Plus I had 5-0 on my 6. Once I made it to the roof, I realized I would constantly be under fire from the guards for this entire section. I make my way across the rooftops, and I get to another window that I have to hop through, and boy was this one annoying. I try to crouch spam my way in normally, but this didn't work, and I'm taking steady damage from bullets. So I backtrack a bit to find this bucket. But of course, when I take it back to the window, the weird architecture of the window prevents me from using it as a proper platform. Then I remembered a little bit earlier when I first entered the roof, there was an attic where there were other, larger objects I could try to use. I backtracked to the attic to find some guards conveniently blocking the way and shooting at me. At this point, in the interest of save scumming as little as possible, I did my best to try and get to the attic anyway. And I succeeded. In dying. After reloading the game, I grab a chair and I make my way back to the window. The chair actually worked wonders for blocking the bullets coming at me. Next time I need protection from gunfire, I'm reaching for a thin wooden chair. And luckily, with this chair in hand, I managed to get through the window. Shout out to chairs. They're going to be the MVP of this run. I can feel it. So we get ganked by some goons, but luckily this woman named Alex saves us.
Dr. Freeman, I presume.
She takes us to Dr. Kleiner's office, but before going in, I grab this barrel of methylamine just in case I need it.
Jesse.
This is the point in the game in which our character, Gordon, has unlocked his suit. He looks down and realizes that he has hands. We can now see our HP, our shield, and most importantly, we gain the ability to sprint.
I'm fast as fuck, boy!
We also get a crowbar. At this point, as the game ramps up, I'm expecting there to be a lot more jumps that I'm going to have to problem solve my way through. I want to get up this platform so that I may make my way onto the train. Luckily, the milkman has left some cartons for us to climb on. This section has been made really easy for me since I've acquired the ability to sprint. I get to this dark stairway and a haunting thought troubles me. So far, the obstacles have been really easy, with random objects laying around that I can use as ramps. What happens when I don't have objects lying around to use? I guess I'll have to deal with it when I get there. But that's going to be it for episode 1. In the interest of full disclosure, I will only continue this series if there is enough interest or engagement. But if there isn't any, then I'll probably move on to a different project or idea. Feel free to leave me your thoughts and/or suggestions down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in episode 2.